Hi, I'm Joel Blum, president of New Jersey Institute of Technology. At NJIT, we believe that not only our students, but all citizens need to be informed about the issues facing higher education. As New Jersey's Science and Technology University, NJIT is proud to support the important programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and their partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by NJIT, New Jersey Sharing Network, dedicated to saving lives through organ and tissue donation. Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. The Russell Berry Foundation, making a difference. The Theurer Fund, supporting right from the start NJ. The New Jersey Education Association. And by Adler Aphasia Center, offering therapeutic programming for stroke and brain injury survivors with aphasia. Promotional support provided by NJ.com, Small News, Big News, True Jersey. And by New Jersey Family Magazine and NJFamily.com.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
I don't care how good you are or how good you think you are, there is always something to learn.
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Hi, I'm Steve Adubato. I recently had the opportunity to attend the annual Celebrating Life and Liberty event at MetLife Stadium hosted by Hackensack Meridian Health. It was an inspiring and emotional day as we celebrated patients dealing with cancer, survivors, and caregivers. The event gives the entire cancer community an opportunity to come together and celebrate their journey. I spoke to healthcare leaders, patients, family members, and survivors who share their stories to give others hope. Let's check it out. Welcome, folks, to MetLife Stadium. This is the Celebrating Life and Liberty event here at MetLife. And we're going to be talking to all sorts of folks who are part of this event. 11 years they've been doing this. There'll be about 6,000 people here in just a few minutes, believe it or not. There's a sound check going on with the band. And Bob Garrett, who is the CEO of Hackensack Meridian Health, will not be singing with them. Neither will I.
Really? I thought I was.
No, they don't want us, Bob.
It's not my song anyway.
Exactly. But here's the thing. Talk to us about this event and why it's so important.
Well, Steve, first of all, great to be with you again here at MetLife Stadium. This is the 11th year of the Cancer Survivors Symposium and the Cancer Survivors event. It's called Life and Liberty for a good reason. It's about celebrating life. It's about being free of cancer. I go to a lot of events during the course of the year, but I have to tell you, this is the most special event that I go to because it's inspirational. It really is. When you see patients, cancer survivors, with their families, with their friends, and then their caregivers really celebrating what they've been through, where they're going in the future, it's just unbelievably inspirational. And, you know, if you don't get emotional at something like this, what do you get emotional at? And the great thing is, over the 11 years, we're seeing more and more cancer survivors here, which means more and more of them are surviving cancer. The treatments have gotten more sophisticated. We're seeing better outcomes. And to see these people celebrate as they're going to be in just about an hour from now is going to be truly special.
What's interesting, Bob, is beyond the clinical part,
yes,
the medicine, right? The human part of this, the families, what families need, what those who are dealing with cancer need from a human point of view. Talk about that.
It is so important. You know, the clinicians will tell you that the treatment is certainly a very, very big, important event in terms of their journey through cancer and surviving it. But the camaraderie, the support that that cancer patients get from their families and friends is so important. And you know, they talk about a positive attitude in healthcare, and that, you know, gives you a better chance to survive. It's truly, and you'll talk to any of the clinicians, that will tell you that is absolutely true. So the support that these patients get from their loved ones is almost as important as the treatment. Maybe in some ways it's more important, because if they don't have the right attitude, if they don't feel supported, maybe they won't go to treatment, maybe they won't take their meds, and they'll just kind of put up their hands and give up, and we never want that. And so what we try to do at the John Theurer Cancer Center is really encourage that type of support system. And here tonight is a celebration of how that support system really worked, and it's a great opportunity to celebrate the survival of an incredibly difficult disease.
One of the folks here, I mean, you're pretty special. I was reading about you, but the meeting was even more impressive. This is Lesley Blum. You've been coming to this event for how long?
This is my second year.
Why does this event matter?
It's just a great event because you celebrate everyone. Like, you're celebrating being a cancer survivor, they're celebrating your caretakers. It's just a great event. And everyone here gets to talk about like what's going on with you. You get to meet different people, and it just makes you feel really special.
Tell folks a little bit about your journey.
So I was diagnosed with an extremely rare form of childhood cancer that mostly males get. I always wanted to win the lottery. I picked the wrong lottery to win. It took my leg, and then it spread to my groin, and then it spread to my lungs. So right now I have stage 4 metastatic synovial cell lung cancer, but I'm here, so that's all that matters.
You're more than here. You've got this incredibly positive, not just attitude, there's something about you that's so positive. What is it?
You have to be positive. If you're negative,
no, you choose to be positive.
Well, yes, because if you decide to be negative, it's not going to change that you have cancer. And I want to do things in life. I have too much I want to live for, and I don't want to be a statistic. I want to be the exception to the rule. So I'm not going to let it get me. It took my leg, and that's all it's going to take for me.
That's just because I'm so excited.
It's so funny. We were talking about there's audio issues going on. There's a lot going on. You can hear the crowd. I'm thinking to myself, we're in media, television. We're dealing with audio issues. This is nothing for you.
No, because you know what?
You're laughing at us making a big deal about this.
I do. Well, you know what? Because I just live my life the way I think that it should be. I want to do so much in life. And I decided when this happened, I was not going to let it take me.
And we're pleased to be joined by the gentleman who had an awful lot to do with this happening, Dr. Andre Guevorra, Chairman and Executive Director, Lymphoma Division Chief, John Theurer Cancer Center. While there's a lot going on, they're celebrating the Giants here at MetLife Stadium. Others are here celebrating what, Doctor?
Today is an annual survivorship celebration. As you said, we started 11 years ago. When you think about a patient, they can't and should not fight by themselves. So they fight with a circle of physician, team providers, care providers, but also their family, friends, and other patients that share stories. And they go through the process of healing a journey. But here we celebrate their journey, their effort, their accomplishments, and their support each other.
Beyond the clinical part of this, I mean, you and your colleagues try to help people every day with new therapies, new technology, et cetera. The human part of this is big.
It is very critical. It's a combination of both in science and compassion, and science and empathy, science with a mission and a purpose. So this is very critical that we have patients that feel supported at a human level. They fight better, they do better. I'm convinced in the future we'll be able to show that this has a true impact on the outcome. And this is part of our culture at JTCC. We're very fortunate at JTCC to have access to novel therapy to patients, but you need to keep an environment that is patient-friendly, where patients want to come.
Folks, this is the Life and Liberty event here at MetLife Stadium. There are a lot of speeches going on around us. You can see the folks here. And by the way, there are thousands of people, and you are one of them. You are?
My name is Jacqueline Browne.
And Jacqueline, who's hanging with you today?
My friend Kathy and her sister Robin.
Jacqueline, your journey as a survivor, describe it to folks.
Long and hard, kind of tedious, but because of the people here at Hackensack, it was a doable thing. It was a workable thing, but it's long and hard and tiring, but I'm still here.
What made you come to this event?
This is my third year coming to this event, and I look forward to coming every year. So this is a very nice event. It lets people who are survivors, get together, families of survivors, and just kind of forget what you're going through for the day.
You know what's interesting is a lot of the folks who are here, they're here with family, they're here with friends, and it's a beautiful thing. Why are you here with Jacqueline?
She's my best friend for over 30 years, and we're both cancer survivors, as is my sister Robin. We're all cancer survivors. We're from New York City. We were treated there, but she's our friend. She was treated here, and we're here to support each other.
To see more one-on-one with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato PhD and follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
This event is a very special event, as we've been saying, and there are different partners and colleagues who are part of this, who are here for those who are surviving cancer and their families, and we're pleased to be joined by Stacy Kreizman, Senior Manager, Patient and Community Outreach, Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, which is?
Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is the world's largest organization dedicated to blood cancer research, and we're looking for a cure, like so many others, and working very hard on it.
And an event like this matters because?
An event like this matters because it raises awareness. And it not only raises awareness for the need for cancer research, but it brings together survivors who can celebrate their journey, who can look around, see that there's others like themselves who are going through a similar journey and can relate to what everybody else is experiencing.
There's a personal human part of this. Families dealing with a loved one who's dealing with cancer. But you mentioned before we got on the air about financial issues. Talk about that.
Financial issues are a huge component of what we do through our policy and advocacy side of our mission. We have three components of our mission: research, patient access, and policy and advocacy. And our policy and advocacy team is working really hard on a state and local level to bring awareness and raise attention to some of the high costs of cancer care, some of the high insurance premiums, things like that folks are dealing with, and having to make really tough decisions about, do I continue my cancer treatment? Do I put food on the table or pay my mortgage?
Those are the choices?
Absolutely. They're very real and scary choices.
The other thing is, there's an online community that connects with each other. What is it and why does it matter?
So the online community through LLS is LLS Community. It's exactly that. It's an online patient...
We'll put up the website as you're talking about it. Go ahead.
Okay. It's an online patient support forum where patients have the ability to not only go on and read articles written by local area experts or fellow patients or caregivers, but also join different groups where they can chat, read stories, read experiences about other patients who are dealing with similar situations as themselves.
Why does it matter so much?
It matters because it allows them to understand that they are not alone. Whether they're talking to somebody down the block or they're talking to somebody who lives in Detroit or New York or Florida, the cancer journey is relatively the same, and it just gives them a chance to relate to other people who are out there like themselves.
And there is, in fact, a cancer journey.
There is a journey. There is a journey directly from diagnosis to the point of straight through treatment, beyond into survivorship.
Dr. Joe Landolfi, neuro-oncologist and medical director, brain tumor program at Hackensack Meridian Health. Good to see you, doctor.
Good to see you, Steve. Thank you.
Talk about why this event is so important.
I think this is an opportunity for patients and families to come together to celebrate. I think for the patients, it's a celebration for themselves, or of themselves, and for each other. And I think for the families, the caregivers, and the providers, it's an acknowledgement of what we can do if we work together.
Doctor, talk to us about this. Talk about treatments and how they've changed over the, last 5 to 10 years, how they've changed. And does that have anything to do with why there are so many survivors of cancer who are at an event like this?
Absolutely. I think I'm a neuro-oncologist. I specialize in brain and spine tumors, but across the gamut of all cancers, there's been major advancements in the field, particularly in bringing newer therapies to light. We have more innovative treatments, immunotherapies, for example, where we can inject a virus into a tumor and we can either attack the tumor via the virus, or we can have the virus sort of change the environment that the tumor lives in to create an immune reaction so that our bodies will attack the cancer itself. So I think these are very exciting times. CAR T-cell therapy really changed the face of how children...
What is that?
It's a sort of a modified antigen that we develop treatments against. And in childhood leukemias, it has just changed the face for their survivorship. And we're starting to look at those kind of treatments in other fields, including my own.
You know, Dr. Landolfi is actually, to disclose, a student of mine in a physician leadership academy that I've been teaching in. And what's interesting, Joe, is that you and I talk a lot about the human side of this with other physicians as well. Human communication, human interaction, empathy. You're dealing with people who are surviving, dealing with cancer, their families. Beyond the clinical part of it, how important is the human connection?
So I think as physicians or as providers, we have a responsibility to treat the cancer, you know? But I think we also have an opportunity to lift the spirits of the patient, to make that personal connection, to get to know who they are, what their struggles are on a daily basis, whether they be financial, whether they be childcare. It's probably one of the most fulfilling aspects of the clinical care for me when I interact with patients. Last week, I had a patient, Charlie, who came in with his wife. He's in his late 60s, and his adult son. He came in for a second opinion, and we went through what we would normally go through. But at little points during the visit, I like to inject humor when I think I can and it's appropriate. And they laughed, and it just carried on from there. At the end of the visit, his wife broke down and cried, and I asked what was going on. And she hugged me and she said, "Thank you." She said, "We haven't laughed in months." And for me, you know, that is a successful office visit. It just to see in the person's eyes, the patient and the families, to actually see some of their distress go away, it's more meaningful than anything I could ever do. I think it's equally as important that we talk about and treat quality of life or maintain quality of life as we are in our advancements toward the cancer itself.
We met John, who, as we're taping this, you were just diagnosed a few months ago.
A few months ago, yes, I did.
You know, I'm so impressed, and others will be watching as well, that you chose to be here celebrating life and liberty. Because?
I just wanted to experience the, you know, as a survivor of cancer, I just wanted to know how it feels like to be with everyone. You know?
What does it feel like?
Well, it feels great. That's a lot of people in here. It's not only me. I was thinking about, you know, maybe it's just me, but actually there's a lot of people really experiencing this. So it's like a privilege for me to be here.
A privilege?
Yes. So.
You know, I imagine as people are watching right now, there are going to be people getting a diagnosis. It's just, every day it happens. Do you have a message, even though it's very early for you in this journey, and we obviously wish you nothing but the best? Do you want to say anything to those folks?
Yes, never give up. Keep fighting. As I have fought this and was diagnosed this year, and I just wish everyone the very best. And don't give up. Just keep fighting.
We're here with Marisa Valentinetti.
Yes.
And you're with the Project Purple ambassador. Project Purple is?
Project Purple is an organization. It's a not-for-profit organization, and we raise money for patients with pancreatic cancer as well as their families. We provide support through patient funding, and we also provide funds for research.
You have a personal connection.
I do. I unfortunately lost my mom to her battle in 2006. And, you know, the needle hasn't moved since then. There really hasn't been much done. So when I found Project Purple, I knew this was my passion, and I continue to raise money for them.
Why an event like this today?
Today, I mean, just look around you. It's amazing what the patients go through and what their families go through. And the fact that we have organizations like Project Purple to help give them the support that they need is just amazing. And everyone should be celebrated, the patient and the caregivers. Sometimes we forget about the caregivers, and they're such a huge part. And I learned that from my mother, and I'm also a nurse. So I have a...
You're an oncology nurse?
I am. I'm an oncology research nurse.
Talk about what families go through.
I mean, every type of emotion. It's, you know, you're happy when you get good results, and then there's always that waiting game, or like, what's going to happen? Is it going to come back? Is there a relapse? Just the emotions they're never over. They're never over. Even if after you lose your family member, it never stops. It never stops.
How do you keep such a positive attitude?
because I see what everyone does. I see that everyone just tries and they keep that fight. I mean, I've seen patients at their lowest lows after treatment, and they're still so positive. And that just drives me. That drives me to push because I can get up, I can put my sneakers on, and I can go for that run. So I just keep pushing.
Talk about the running part of this.
Oh, it's amazing. Project Purple provides you support. They give you training tips. You work with a team of, it could be hundreds. We had over 100 runners for the New York City Marathon last year. Only number 2 fundraising to New York Road Runners, which is the huge organization, the New York Runs for Kids. And they just provide support. And also you have that connection with the runners on your team. Everyone's been through either a loss or are going through a family member with their treatments. And it's, Dino Varelli, the founder and CEO of Project Purple, always says we're part of the worst group out there, but it connects us and we have that connection and it makes us stronger.
This is Giants Field at MetLife Stadium. 13 years, talk about it.
13 years, breast cancer survivor. I survived a very aggressive breast cancer. If you know what it is, it's called HER2 positive, double negative, which is stage 2, which was very aggressive. Went to my lymphs. I had 2 lymphs of breast cancer and I had to take out 24 lymphs nodes, called total axillary node dissection, stage 2. 13 years ago, Dr. Richard Davies was my surgeon at this hospital. He died of cancer, and he was my surgeon, my breast surgeon. He saved thousands of women of 2006, December 5th, and February 5th, 2007. I had 2 breast cancer surgeries. It was a lot.
What made you come to this event to, quote, celebrate?
Well, I'm celebrating because I'm here, because Dr. Davies said that he didn't think that I was even going to be here. He gave me 6 months to live 13 years ago.
What's it like to be with a lot of other folks who are dealing with their own challenges?
I'm a nurse and a social worker, so I do talk to a lot of people, and I give a lot of support to a lot of women who have got breast cancer, and I tell them what to expect, what's going through, and all the challenges of side effects. A lot of side effects. People don't know this.
What finally, with this celebration still going on here, what message you have to everybody else who are out there?
My message is that you have to keep on going on and living. And no matter what pain you're in, you got to go. There's always somebody. Everyone has a story. We all have a story. But some have worse, some have better. I know people who had better and some had worse, but it doesn't matter. You still keep going, and you just have to get up in the morning and say, I'm going to do it today, and live day by day.
We're here with Rich Verde, one of the many people, one of the thousands of people here at the Celebrating Life and Liberty event. Rich, you are a survivor. Talk about it.
I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma 10 years ago, and the survival rate at that time was 2 to 3 years. Research, medicine, bone cell transplants all have contributed to my survival, 10 years.
So what's an event like this mean to you?
I like to come. I'm in pretty good shape, to be honest with you.
You look great.
Yes.
You're a
Don't
Newark
say
guy.
that.
No, you're a Newark guy.
Don't say that. So, I've been down and out, and I came back, and I'm okay. I was at the hospital today getting treatment. And then I knew this event was happening, and I came to see other people who are actually less fortunate than me.
Let me ask you
something.
something.
They're all different kinds of cancer.
Well, let me ask you something, Rich.
Yeah.
Does it throw you off? I mean, I said you look great, and I saw your reaction. In all seriousness, can it be confusing to folks because you look so good and that they don't really realize what you're dealing with?
Yes. Yes.
So you don't want people saying, hey, you look great.
I don't mind them saying it, but I advise them that you never know from day to day. So my cancer is treatable. It's not curable. Mel Stottlemyre had what I have. And many people have what I have. And there's nothing in my family. It just came. And then you got to deal with it. So you go down, what the heck? And many people do not survive, but many people do. And that's really what you try and do.
And that's why you're here.
People. You're right.
Tell folks why you're here and what your connection is.
Well,
Cancer wants to conquer our bodies, our minds, and our souls. And if you look around at the thousands of people that will be here, you'll find out that the nurses and doctors are providing a hope, and we're meeting that challenge head on. I was told I had less than 3 years to live with or without treatment when I first got diagnosed. And that was 11 years, 6 months, and 7 days ago.
Wow. So your journey, and everyone's journey, everyone who's dealing with cancer, and by the way, Giants highlights are being played as we're talking right now. You don't want to compete with the Giants highlights, but your highlights are pretty powerful as well, your journey.
Well, my journey, the first 6 months, I got into a research program where Dr. Guevorra and Dr. Feldman actually saved my life with the new drugs and the treatments. And the doctors and the nurses there for 6 months, I was in the hospital for a week. They'd pump me full of chemo for 24 hours a day for a week. They'd send me home for 2 weeks, and then back in the hospital, pump me 24 hours a day again for 6 months. I almost bought the farm twice, but I made it.
Today is a celebration for you and your family. Who's going to be with you from your family, and what does it mean to them?
My wife is here with me, and
now your wife is Nancy.
Nancy, that's right, and she was here with me. She was with me every step of the way. I mean, I'm not sure who had it worse when I was in the hospital. She was with me from morning until night, whether I was sleeping or awake. She was there every step of the way, and it means almost as much to her as it does for me to see all these people. We're together. We're celebrating that we're still alive.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by NJIT, New Jersey Sharing Network, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, the Russell Berry Foundation, the Theurer Fund, supporting Right from the Start NJ, the New Jersey Education Association, and by Adler Aphasia Center. Promotional support provided by NJ.com and by New Jersey Family Magazine and NJFamily.com. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
I think at NJIT there are a lot of smart students.
I came to NJIT for mechanical engineering because with in-state, it's one of probably the top 3 schools for engineering.
It sort of creates a friendly competition where you can learn from them.
It's a great academic school.
I feel I'm being challenged, but at the same time, I love the classes I'm taking.
The atmosphere of being here is like being at an upstart company. It's that same kind of drive, that same kind of passion.